Let's do this. Hello, everyone. Thank you all for joining. Welcome to InRhythm Lightning Talks. I'm Pollack, your host for tonight. I'm the Senior Director of Enterprise Solutions at InRhythm. We have amazing content lined up for you in the upcoming weeks. Our Lightning Talks are hosted every Thursday at 5:15 p.m. Eastern Time. Each week, one of our practice area consultants speaks on the latest technology trends in the industry that will help you keep learning and growing in your career. And this week, Kyle Pollack, who is a senior software engineer with us, is going to give us overview of Kafka, which is an open source distributed event streaming platform, which is used by thousands of companies for high performance data pipelines, streaming analytics, data integration, and mission critical applications. So I'm super excited to see what all it offers. Let's get it started, Kyle.
I'm Kyle Pollack. I'm a senior software engineer with InRhythm. Recently in my career, I started using Apache Kafka, and there's a lot of great things you can do with it. So I made this slideshow so we can go through and discuss some of the advantages and a little bit about the architecture. So overview is, what is Apache Kafka, some advantages of Kafka, a target audience, and then a little bit into the implementation. So Kafka is an open source software which provides a framework for storing, reading, and analyzing streaming data. Kafka is designed to be run in a distributed environment, means rather than just sitting on one person's computer, it can run over several servers, and that allows you to leverage a lot of additional processing power, storage capacity, and the other advantages of a distributed environment. Some of the other advantages, we have real-time data analysis. So that allows us to have some faster insights onto what's going on with your data. You get faster response times. An example would be making predictions about what you should stock, promote, or pull from the shelves if you're the like an inventory person, or you own like a retail market or whatnot. You can kind of have an idea, like in real time, what's going on with all of your data and information, and then make some better decisions rather than waiting for a long time to analyze it and then run, different statistics from the trends you're looking for. This you can kind of do it more instantly. So, you have that preparedness. Even for big event systems, Kafka can operate very quickly. That's another advantage of it. You can stream all of your data in real time and then just make the decisions based on that, on what you'd want to do. Aside from that, Kafka is written in Java, one of the very popular programming languages, so it's easy to pick up. Some of the use cases for Kafka is, you have stream processing, you can monitor activity on your website, you have a lot of different metrics, so you can collect those and do what you need to with the data. Log aggregation, you can do real-time analytics, and that can really save you a lot of time rather than having to go to your data after you've stored up enough of it and then run analytics then. You can ingest into Spark, ingest into Hadoop. We can do replay messages. Kafka comes with error recovery and a guaranteed distributed commit log. So you have good stuff there. Some of the main parts of the Kafka architecture, there's several parts, but the main parts I'll be talking about today are the producer, a broker, a topic, and a consumer. So this is just kind of a very high-level overview of the architecture. It'll start over on the producers where you can write a message. It's written to the Kafka topic inside the Kafka cluster. So you have kind of settings that you'll have with your broker on what to do with those topics and how those should be distributed. And we're going to get into the topics in a later slide. And then the consumers, they can read from the topic and then do what they need to with the data, like storing it in a SQL database, for example. So to give you a very basic overview of what a producer's code looks like, you'd have like a Java class like this. You can have some settings set, for your Kafka workflow. You create the producer. You have some shutdown behavior in case something were to happen. And then it's very simple. You just have these key value pairs that you put in these records, and then all you have to do is send it. So it's very amendable to different business workflows that you may have. Now to get kind of like a diagram of how this works with the topic, Generally you have topics of like related messages or categories, kind of like you do with like a record in SQL. It's a logical representation of the data, and it's an end-to-end relationship. So you can have, producers going to the different topics, and then different things can read from different topics, and you can do an unlimited number of topics. You're not limited. So it's in like a JSON format as well. So many software concepts you may be familiar with, they're used right here in the Kafka messaging workflow. To take a deeper dive into the record, you can have headers and a timestamp. Your business relevant data. Suppose you want to have like an employee key, like an ID, and then different values about that employee, like what their title is, what their salary is, different maybe years of experience, etc., different permissions they may have. Just as an example, you have that as the key value pair. So you kind of have that set up in the Kafka records. Then we have these partitioning of segments. So I have this diagram that will make it a little bit easier to understand. You have a topic C. It can go to the partition, and you can partition it into different messages, so you can process stuff more quickly. And if something goes down, well, you still have these other partitions that can help out with the topics. And then you have the different segments of it, and it keeps rolling. So think of it as kind of like a list. Every time you go to add a new event into that partition, it appends it onto the end. So it'll just keep appending and appending, and you kind of have like, that's your sequence of events for the data you're sending. And then we have brokers. So to give you an idea with brokers, they manage these partitions. Messages of topics are spread across partitions. Partitions spread across brokers. Each broker handles many partitions, and each partition is stored on a broker's disk. Each message is logged and identified by an offset, and you can configure the retention policy. If you only want it stored for a little bit, or you want it stored for a few days, you have that option. And then we can go into the basics of a consumer. So a consumer will pull messages from the topics, and you can see they're in the Kafka cluster. New inflowing messages, they're automatically retrieved. And again, if you need to, you can set an offset. And then this would be the basic implementation of a consumer. You can like set your topic, the topic in an application YAML file, for example. And you have some of these the basic workflows. So you can set this listen method. It'll listen for these particular topics. You'll see on the top there, you have that topics thing with Kafka.list visibility topic. You go set the name of the topic you want it to listen for, and when you start up your application, this will constantly run, listening for everything it needs to consume to the topics that it's looking out for. And then in that try, that's where you can have your business logic. In this example, have a very simple one. We're just going to go in and store it in a table, so in a SQL table. So now, we were able to get our data and store it where we needed to. And so that's the base. That's pretty much the end of the general workflow for Kafka topics. So you had your producer where that produced the message. It gets posted to the Kafka topic, and then this consumer here will read from that topic. So with that, a lot of different things you can do with Kafka. It's very simple to pick up, and it has a lot of different use cases for all different types of business models. So with that, I'll open it up to questions.